Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video with the Argos Moth. Today we're going to be talking about I'm going to be redoing the um um what do you call it, the British lineup, British battleship line, because I wasn't happy with it. So I've kind of like put this together, and I've carefully put this together, and I've thought about it, and I think it fits pretty well. So we're going to start off with HMS Dreadnought. HMS Dreadnought is a 12 gun uh, Dreadnought class battleship. She's not a true battleship, she's a Dreadnought class. I think she'll sit at tier 3, or you can swap tier Dreadnought and Neptune around, and then have HMS Neptune as tier 3. And what I thought was, well, maybe you could have maybe I don't know, maybe um, 3 lines of battleships really, because I thought, well, since because I thought, well, wouldn't it be good if, because there's so many different types of battleships and dreadnoughts and all that in the British Navy, and I thought, well, what if you had multiple lines of battleships and battle cruisers and all that. So basically, you've got one line, which is the more dreadnought kind of ships. Then you've got another line which branches off of the dreadnought class kind of ships, which is the battleships. I know you're gonna say HMS Renown and HMS Hood are not battleships, but you know, where do you really fit them really? Um, I could have moved King George V to the battleship line. HMS Agincourt, I could have. I'm actually going to do that now. I'm actually going to do that now. Agincourt. And let's call it King George V. And then I'm going to move this down slightly just to make it fit in. And then this is going to be probably Renown and Hood. So just change that around, and so you've got the battle cruiser line, you've got the dreadnought line, and you've got the battleship line. Now, most of you won't know what HMS Anson or HMS Agincourt is. No, it's not Agincourt, it's Agincourt. Um, so basically, the HMS Anson was meant to be kind of like a bigger version of. It was meant to be like the fast version of the HMS Nelson, and it was a G3 class battle cruise. And then of course the HMS Agincourt was meant to be basically a kind of like a Super Nelson. Instead of having 9 406mm guns, it would have had 9 457mm guns. So yeah, pretty big guns. 18-inch guns. And then of course the HMS Conqueror, goes down in caliber to 419mm guns. HMS Agincourt has 14, I think 14 305mm guns. The King George V has 10 356, so 14-inch guns. Anson has 16-inch guns. Agincourt has 18-inch guns, and then Conqueror has 419. What's that's what 16 point? Because 431 millimeter, that's 17-inch. So 419 would be 16.5-inch. So yeah, yeah, pretty good lineup for the battleships. For the dreadnoughts, you have HMS Dreadnought, HMS Neptune, HMS Colossus. It's some you, well, most of you probably don't know some of these ships. You got HMS Royal Oak, and then HMS Nelson, and HMCS, which stands for Her Majesty's or His Majesty's Canadian ship, Yukon. Now, Yukon is essentially a King George V armed with 15-inch guns instead of 14-inch guns. HMS Monarch is essentially the Yukon, but the Monarch is a bit different. It's got like different kind of. It's just slightly different ship. So that's why I've put the Monarch in with the battle cruisers, and you're gonna notice this HMS Hood and then it's HMS Hood refit. Some of you may be asking, oh, why did you put two HMS Hoods? Well, because the HMS Hood refit would have had better secondaries, better fire control system. It had automatic loading. She would have had a new hull, a hull. She would have had. I think HMS Hood had one smokestack. If I'm correct, she had one. Or did she have two? One or two. Anyway, basically HMS Hood refit is just a better HMS Hood, so that's why I put the HMS Hood refit at tier 10. She's going to be armed with the same 8 15-inch guns, but she could have, like, I don't know, say improved pen, maybe improved HE or something like that. HMS Vanguard is essentially like an HMS Hood. It's just more King George-ish. It's a little bit wider and a little bit shorter. HMS Renown is essentially an HMS Hood, but again, it's a bit different. Now, HMS Orion and HMS Iron Duke, they are classed as dreadnoughts, but they are faster than HMS Neptune and Colossus and the Ajax. But they are considerably faster. Like a couple knots, 2, 3, 4 knots. Basically HMS Neptune, Colossus, Ajax, and all that, they all do around 21 knots. The Dreadnought does 21.6, but okay. They also have some pretty good armor. The Royal Oak is essentially, think of like the Pennsylvania. Is it the Pennsylvania? I think it is the Pennsylvania. Think of like the Pennsylvania, but British, and at tier 8. So she has um uh uh oh is it I think she's armed with 356mm guns. And I know some of you may be saying, oh, tier 8 356mm guns are useless, they're rubbish. But you've got to remember that the British in modern warships, they all have improved ricocheting. So in Naval 1945, the devs could give all of the British battleships and battlecruisers all improved AP pen. So they don't ricochet as much, or they could give them super HE or some kind of gimmick. Because essentially, all the British battleships and dreadnoughts and battlecruisers, they all have less armor than their other country counterparts. Like for example, the Hood. Obviously the Hood had, because the Congo has 200 and some millimeters of armor, and I think the hood has like 191 millimeters of belt armor. So the Congo, the Japanese Congo, was originally built in Britain, and it was made in Britain, and it was called the HMS Congo, and then it was bought by the Japanese and made the IJN Congo. But yeah, you've got the Dreadnought class, Dreadnought line. You've got the Battleship line, and then you've got the Battlecruiser line. So HMS Vanguard's pretty quick. HMS Orion and Iron Duke, they're a little weeny bit slower, and then a Renown and Hood, Monarch, Vanguard, and Hood Retrofit. They are really quick, really quick. Vanguard and Monarch are a little bit slower, a little bit more sluggish, but they are considerably faster than like HMS Canada and HMS Royal Oak. Considerably quick. But they do have less armor than their um, Dreadnought counterparts. Now, um, the reason why I've put HMCS Yukon at tier 10 is because why not? I mean, if you're gonna have a Monarch at tier 10 which is flinging HE all over the place, like super HE, then why not? That'll be fun. HMS Conqueror, um, I might just like put like 4 gimmicks, like make a branch off and then make HMS Thunderer just to annoy people or as a meme or whatnot. There was actually meant to be 4 ships of the Conqueror class, which is shocking. It is just shocking. So, and they were all meant to be armed with 400 and 410 millimeter guns, but then they were changed to 419. They were never built. They were never built because when the HMS Vanguard was designed, she was the last battleship ever made in the world. So what's the point of making that? Really, there's really no point. Um, but yeah, HMS Conqueror is just effectively a very large version of the HMS Vanguard or the HMS Monarch. It's just essentially an HMS Monarch with an extra turret. But the guns are bigger. Like HMS Thunderer has 457mm guns, and then the other 2 I think would have been armed with 419mm guns. So HMS Conqueror could have 410 or 419mm guns. If she's armed with 419mm guns, I won't really change the overmatch mechanic because you still won't be able to overmatch, like for example, 27mm of bow plating. Or would she? I don't think she would. But 457mm guns will overmatch 31mm bow plating, but not 32. You need to be 458mm or higher to overmatch 32mm bow plating. That's why the Musashi can just dunk on other battleships because she just overmatches them all the time. HMS Hood refit. Now, if HMS Hood survived, she would have gotten new engines and new propellers. Basically, she would have been a brand new ship, and she would have gone faster than her normal speed. So that means that at tier 10, she could probably have, say, a shell reloader. So when you activate that for, like, say, um, um, 15 seconds, it decreases your reload time by, say, 75%, which, when you think about it, 75% of 30 is, so So 30, 75% of 30, that's 50% of, that's, take away 20 seconds. So she would be reloaded every 10 seconds with 15-inch guns, but only 8 of them. So there are only 8 15-inch guns. So my brain did work there for a second. HMS Vanguard could get sort of a thing, but at a less effect. So instead of cutting it at 75%, they can cut it at, say, 50%. So instead of reloading every 10 seconds, she's reloading every 15 seconds. And I think that'll be the gimmick for the battle cruisers. It's just giving them that is the reloader, the speed reloader. So when you activate it, yeah, 15 seconds or maybe 20, 30 seconds maybe, that will be enough for you to get 2 shots off in the Vanguard and 3 whole salvos off in the Hood 2. I'm just gonna call it the Hood 2 because this is ridiculous. Just gonna call it Hood 2. Um, so, um, so Battlecruiser line, fast, huge turning, can't spell, circle, reloader, boost, reloader, perk, I guess you call it. Moderate speed, decent turning circle, maybe enhanced AA, and then the dreadnoughts could be enhanced. Oh fuck! Enhanced armor, improved pen, and then maybe improved secondary accuracy. Improved. Just I can't spell. What's wrong with dispersion? So effectively, you know, you can go down 3 lines. I mean, of course, you have to go down 2 of those lines if you want to get to the battleships. But if you go down the battlecruiser line, then you get access to the reloader perk, which for tier 3, when you activate it, it takes off like 5% off your reload. So instead of you reloading in 30 seconds, you reload in percent off 30 is 2.5. So that'd be what? 27.5-second reload. It's not a lot, but once you get up to the HMS Orion, that'll be 5% or 7.5%, and then HMS Iron Duke would be what, 12%? Oh, probably not. Probably 2.5%, or maybe 5% off your reload until you get up to tier 5, and then 10% off your reload until you get up to tier 8, and then probably say, or maybe 10% off your reload until you get up to tier 5, 20% off your reload until you get up to tier 8, and then 30% off your reload when you get up to tier 10. Tier 9, tier 10. I think that would be pretty good. And then of course the battleships will get, you know, enhanced AA, so you get a perk where if you click it, if you activate that perk, your AA goes ballistic. Of course, you know, you would normally want that on an American battleship, but I mean, hey, you know, the British at least need something. And then for the Dreadnought, you could get a perk which improves your secondary dispersion by maybe 60%. So instead of your secondaries going all over the place, um, which they don't really in 1945, they don't really go all over the place. But if they get this dispersion, this secondary dispersion perk, holy god! Anything which gets within secondary range of these dreadnoughts are just gonna get torn to pieces. And of course they're gonna get enhanced armor and improved pen. So basically, angling is a little bit less effective. Um, the battleships and the battlecruisers won't get the enhanced or the improved pen, but they will get just all of them will get Super HE. So every single one of them will get Super HE. So effectively what you have is, it doesn't, if you like firing HE like Japanese or American battleships, and then suddenly the British battleship line comes out, but then you realise it's like this, and you think, oh, you know, what one fires Super HE? You know, all of them will fire Super HE because they're British. So basically, you shoot at someone, um, and you set a ridiculous amount of fires, and you do ridiculous damage with your HE. Probably a little bit more damage than normal HE. Probably not extreme damage. Not until you get up to like tier 8, like, and above. Like when you get to tier 8, that's when you start to do ridiculous damage with your HE. So yeah, so Dreadnought line, Battleship line, and then Battlecruiser line. Honestly, if this was going to come into the game like this, I would probably pick the Battlecruiser line because they, you know, they would be faster. They would have a humongous turning circle, but they would have that reloader perk, which means that you would just ruffle stomp absolutely everything which tries to attack you. And the French would most likely get this reloader perk, but at a more insane level. So instead of like 30%, the tier 9 and tier 10 could get a 60% reloader perk, which lasts probably a little bit shorter. Um, but yeah, let me know what you guys think. If you like this video, give a thumbs up. If you didn't like this video, give a thumbs down. Put in the comment section if you think this is how the battle the British battleship, battlecruiser, dreadnought kind of line should go out. I think it should. I think it really should go out like this, because this is a nice, clean, and effective um, like way out. So you can either go with enhanced armor, or you could go with enhanced AA. The battleships won't have nearly as much armor as, say, for example, the American battleships, but they will have some armor, and then of course the battle cruisers will have a little bit more armor than your traditional heavy cruiser, but they will have battleship caliber guns. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't enjoy this video, give it a thumbs down. Put in the comment section if you would like more videos like this of me explaining of the tech trees. And if so, I will gladly make more videos on this. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace!